Hi guys, so this is a Mama Recharge membership. We'll call it a coaching call. Probably in the future I'll get brave and I'll do it live for this first one. Things are a little bit chaotic here in the house, so I thought it's safer just to record it and post it. And I got some of your questions beforehand. In the future, I would love if we could, and probably as the community gets bigger, I'd love to be able to go live and sort of have conversation going and take questions as they come. But for this month, I thought just a video answering your questions would be helpful. So let's get started. So on this call, I'm going to be talking about, or in this video, I'm going to be talking about the meal plans that I've just posted for August, our August focus. I'm going to be answering some Q&As that I've gotten over the last couple months. A few of them. So I often get sent emails or Facebook messages, and I love hearing from you guys. So anytime you have a question, send it to me. It's one of the perks of still having a nice small community is that I can answer every question, and I love getting to know what's going on with you guys. So anytime you have questions or suggestions or anything, just send me a message. And I will always answer them usually within about 24 hours, answer your question. And then with these monthly coaching calls that we're going to be doing, it's nice if I can sort of discuss them, especially if it's in an email and you guys haven't seen it, if it wasn't posted in the community, if I can sort of discuss it as well. And I'll keep it anonymous too. And if at any point you don't want me to share it, just let me know when you send me the email. So we'll do some Q&As. And that's about it. So we will get started. So I'll first talk about the meal plan. So you should have received an email this morning with your next week's meal plan. If you didn't see it, often it will probably have gone to junk mail or spam. So mark it as safe, however you do that, or even if you just hit a reply and send me an email, then it's more likely that it'll go into your inbox next time. So if you're not seeing it, it's there. I also post it in our Facebook community as well. I know there's a couple that aren't on Facebook. So I try to post everything in both spots. So I'm just going to go over to our meal plans. This month is a lot of like really fresh, let's see if I can find it. Fresh foods, fresh, summery, bright, colorful foods. So we are on to week 1. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe I'll point this. I can't switch it around once I'm recording. So this is a little bit tricky. Okay, so go over to August. Actually, you'll notice here, so we've got meal plans and monthly sections. Most of the content is in the monthly sections. This is good if you're just kind of scrolling through meal plans, looking at all the different ones. But if you go into the monthly sections, then we'll go to August. And I'm just going to show you something that I'm updating in here too. So this one was last week. And this is this week. So this is a sugar-free diet we're doing this week. So it's a little bit more focused on sugar-free. So there is sugar in the fruits and vegetables and things like that. But there's no added sugar, which most of our plans don't have added sugar anyway. But so I thought for myself, with camping, I ate too much sugar, so it's kind of like a little focus this week to kind of cut that out and kind of get back on track. So I'm not sure if you guys are kind of in that same spot as well. So I'll just show you here underneath each of these. So far I have it for August and for July. It says click here for more information on this plan, including Superstore online shopping lists. So under each plan now, I've got that link there. So you click that and it's going to take you to the email that corresponded with that meal plan. So it's going to take you to in that email is all the little tips for that week, maybe little substitutions, and it's also got the Superstore shopping list too. So if you want to go back to, say you want to do the July 1st plan, now you'll have that Superstore shopping list accessible to you. And then this one, week 2 in August, is a neat plan, and it's a little bit different. So it's a vegetarian summer fresh program. So you, by all means, you can add on, if your husband's barbecuing chicken, add on a barbecue chicken breast onto your salad.
or salmon if you do want a little bit extra meat. But I find generally a lot of us do really well with more raw, fresh, colorful, more carbs, especially in the form of fruits and vegetables in the summer. In the winter, we do a little bit better with more heavier, like meats and cooked foods. So this one is a really nice plan. So you feel free to try out, if you're not normally vegetarian, try it out as is if you'd like, or like I said, add on some meat. I find that generally people do really well. Well, some people do amazing with a vegan diet. Some people do amazing with meat. And if they don't have red meat, maybe they have low energy, they don't feel very good, they need that iron. So for most people though, kind of an in-between is great, where you eat some meat, but not a ton. Like sometimes I find that I'm eating meat at breakfast, lunch, and supper. And often that can be like too heavy. That can be too much on our digestion. So I thought this was a fun plan to throw in there. Such fresh, colorful meals. So, I think that's it that I wanted to say about that. Actually, one question while we're here, one question I have had from a couple people is the recipes. Sometimes they had a recipe that they loved in one of the meal plans, and then they can't remember which plan it was in. They can't find that recipe. So we do have a recipe database here. There's so many different recipes in the meal plans that I don't have them all in here right now. So there's recipes organized by category here, and there's also some different recipe ebooks. But if there's a certain recipe that you can't find, it can be tricky. So I don't yet have a search function. I'll look into that and see if I can add that in. But I am planning on, might be within the next few months though, if I can add in every recipe from all the meal plans into and have it categorized. So I maybe would categorize it even more, like salads, soups. I've got smoothies, snacks, supper, lunch, breakfast. So then it's easier to find a certain recipe that you're looking for. But in the meantime, feel free to send me an email or send me a message and say, I'm trying to find this recipe, because often I can find it fairly quickly. So feel free, don't hesitate to message me if you're looking for a recipe and you can't find it. All right, so I'm gonna bring it back and see what else I wanted to mention. So I'm going to mention too, if you want to, I don't think I really addressed this. If you do want to cancel, we've had most people that started in the beginning 6 months ago are still on, but I know sometimes you find that you're going month after month and you're not using it, or it's just not working for you. If you do want to cancel, then you just send me an email, send me a message, and let me know that you're just not using it and you would like to cancel. You can, and I can cancel it through PayPal and also in the membership site. If you are paying by credit card, I believe that I have to cancel that. If you're paying by PayPal, you can go into your PayPal and you can cancel it, but you can even just message me and I can cancel it for you as well. So it's easy as that. I don't have a cancel button on the membership, but it's just easy enough just to send me an email. One thing I will mention too, though, I know with the summer months, you might be going 2 months and you're not really using it because you're on the go, and you're not able to like do a structured meal plan. But with September coming up, you might be wanting to get back into that. So the price has increased. If you got in, actually all of you have gotten in on the price before it increased. Some of you are back as beta testers and got the beta tester pricing. So if it's something that you think you might use in the future, or that you're just not using it now, but you might like it later, I encourage you to continue on with it, because if you cancel and then you want to come back a few months later, 6 months later, I can't give you that price that you initially came in at. So if you, oh, we got somebody at the door. Okay, my daughter just had a little friend come over, so they're out playing. So see if we can finish this up. So I was saying about the membership, and the price that you came in at, you can be locked in at that price. So I see our membership growing and evolving, and with that, the price will probably increase as we go on. New features will come on, more giveaways, things like that. But
the price that you came in at, you'll stick with that. So say it goes to $40 a month, you can stay at the price that you're at, unless you cancel and then come back on. So that's why I encourage you, if you, you might think, okay, I'm going to be away this month, I'm just going to cancel this month. I just wanted to mention that, just so you knew. So, the August focus, I don't think I mentioned that yet. So I did talk about that in the email and the post a little bit about our August focus and ask for any suggestions you had. So for August, we're going to focus on sort of back to school, even though we're not really in that mindset yet. Probably in the next couple weeks, you probably will be. And if I left this focus till September, it might be too late. So if you're looking for like a new lunch kit, I love those bento boxes. Especially with my daughter, she's not a big fan of sandwiches, so I love to just give her kind of like a variety of like little things. So those bento boxes are so neat. So I'll be talking about my favorite bento boxes. I'm doing some research. I'm actually contacting some companies to see if I can get one to do a giveaway for. So I'm going to try to do that if I can. And I'm just going to be posting some of my favorite, some nut-free recipes. And even if you don't have kids that you're making lunches for, it could be lunches for you too. So just anything on the go foods, getting back to routine. So that'll be our focus for this month. Again, if you have any suggestions for future month focuses, how to make eating healthy easier, that's the main mission of this membership, is just a lot of us know that we should be eating better, the things that we should be eating, but it's a struggle in our busy lives. So so any suggestions, just let me know for different focuses. With the membership, I'll get into the Q&As right away. In the membership, there is, I'm going to add a new video in there soon. The recipe database, if you haven't seen that, there's lots of fun ebooks. Have a look at that the summertime ebooks. The summer drinks one. So if you want evening drinks, or if you just want something like nice and cooling in the summer, like the iced tea or the Mama Charged iced coffee, have a look at that. Like often we forget, like even I forget that all those recipes are in there. If you want some different like summer ideas, so maybe some like popsicles for your kids or some ice creams that are dairy free. I'm just watching my kids have the little Jeep out, making sure nobody gets run over. Just looking out the window. So have a look in there. We've got the community, of course. If you're watching this via email, you're not in the Facebook community, make sure you hop on over there. Right now we don't have a ton of discussion going on in there, but in the future I hope to. We've got the meal plans, monthly focuses. You can go back and can look at past monthly focuses too if you want a different monthly focus. I'm just gonna make sure nobody's crashed. I'm a little bit crazy with that Jeep. Okay, now I'll answer some Q&As. Okay, so let me head over to that, and most of them are via email, so I'm gonna mostly read it out so I don't get off track. I can end up talking a little too much. Okay, so actually one I just had today was slow cooker suggestions for slow cooker recipes or Instant Pot. So I might be the only person that still doesn't have an Instant Pot. I'm hoping that maybe that'll be a Christmas present to myself. But for now, I haven't tried out any Instant Pot recipes. But slow cooker recipes I love. And we do have I'll just pan this over actually in a second because I want to keep the questions anonymous. So we do have, there's the Easy Peasy Slow Cooker program. So it's got, it's a week of recipes, and it's got most of the lunches and suppers are slow cooker, some of the snacks. So there's a few good ones in there: overnight oats, applesauce. What do we got here? All those. Maple mustard chicken and stuffed peppers. There's a few others, but I'll post below some of my other favorites. And this is another thing that I plan to add in the next couple months, is a section that's just on just slow cooker recipes, sort of an ebook in the recipe database. Okay, so I'll post some of those for you I love those, especially getting into like September, October. Okay, back to the questions. Okay. So this is a question I had a couple months ago. I'm looking for some guidance. I did the cleanse, no problem. I usually have a smoothie / protein shake in mornings. I eat pretty healthy already. Lots of fresh foods, single ingredient foods, etc. There are times I miss lunch because I get busy and I don't pack one. I found out last June that I can't have dairy. I get really sick, nauseous, pain, vomiting, etc., even with the smallest amount. So life changed. But even with this, I have not lost weight. Okay, I knew there was a reason I didn't go live. I thought I heard somebody crying, so. Okay, sorry about that. So we're back to the question. So she realized she had issues with dairy, so she changed her life. She completely cut out dairy. But even with this, I've not lost weight, she says. I'm so frustrated. I'm trying to exercise more, attend yoga, bar, TRX classes. I met with a dietitian in November. It was not helpful. I already eat what she suggested. I don't like the size I am. I gained the weight in the year we were trying to figure out why I was getting so sick. Do you have suggestions? I understand if this is too individual for you to address. And I've seen this a few different times where it's like, usually they're eating like the healthiest diet and they just keep gaining weight, or they're not able to lose the weight, and it can be so frustrating. So I'll maybe just read out what I had mentioned to her. So let's see. So there can be many different reasons why you aren't able to drop weight. I'll mention a few things that come to mind. So number one, if you aren't getting in a good amount of calories in, and you are exercising quite a bit, you might actually be causing your metabolism to slow. So this is the case for some people, not for everyone. I know for myself, I when I'm gaining weight, I eat way too much food. So that's definitely not my problem, but there are quite a few people, and you think, okay, I just need to like eat a little bit less. But that actually can have the opposite effect. So if this is you, this might be the case. So if you are going a long time without eating, if you're not eating a lot, if you are exercising a lot, if you are on the go and busy, if you have lots of stress, this definitely could be a problem. So there would be a few factors in there. You might want to eat, keep it whole foods as much as possible, but some more healthy fats, some more protein. Just try to eat. You might want to focus on especially a good breakfast to get your metabolism going in the morning. So eating a little bit more. So if that sounds like you, the person that asked this question. So like I was saying, if you can try to keep it whole foods as much as possible, but if you can eat, especially in the morning, and try to reduce that stress as much as possible. I know that can be tricky, easier said than done. And also, so it's not always that you need to push yourself and do more and more exercise and eat less and less, especially if there is stress going on, because exercise, although it is super beneficial, it does increase more cortisol. So if you feel like that is you, by all means, exercise is amazing. But if you feel like that's you, then maybe some more relaxing walks or yoga, things like that can be helpful. Okay, and the next suggestion. So this seems like it might be if this seems like it might be the case, continue with your healthy whole foods diet, but add in more healthy fats, maybe more protein, and try not to skip meals if possible. Also, increasing the amount of omega-3 in the diet can really help. An omega-3 fish oil supplement can really help too. Since you noticed you have a dairy intolerance, it's a bit more likely that you have an intolerance to other foods too. So you've probably got something going on in your body that caused you to develop a food intolerance. And often it's not just one protein that you're intolerant to. And I found that with myself too. For myself, it's dairy, gluten, and eggs. So the most common ones are, let's see where I was at. The most common ones are gluten, dairy, eggs, soy, and corn. So I like to start people off with cutting gluten and dairy, which you've already done, which is great. Egg and soy next. Test those out, and then reintroduce into your diet after about 3 to 4 weeks and see if you feel like you react to them. So a lot of you are in the Mama Recharge method, so this is perfect for that, for the testing. And she actually joined that after, so she could test. And we also dive a little bit into gut bacteria, blood sugar issues, candida overgrowth, which could also be issues to why she's holding on to weight. So number 3, another possible cause is that there's something going on in your body that's causing inflammation, and when the body is inflamed, it often holds on to weight. So we want to figure out what is causing that inflammation in your body. Some common causes of inflammation are food intolerance, as we mentioned, but candida overgrowth or gut flora issues in general, or parasites, are also common causes. So I try to dive deeper into that. Number 4, it could be hormones / stress / cortisol. I mentioned that a little bit with the stress, and then adding on really intense exercise. Could be one small part. Do you have a high or moderately stressful lifestyle currently? I asked her. There are even more factors that we could dive into, but this is probably a good place to start. That's a lot of information already. So it is a little bit tricky to figure out just through a question like that, figure out what's going on, because everybody's individual, but those are some pretty common ones. Okay, so that was about it. So the food intolerance thing is huge, stress, like look into all those different areas. And then we will go to, I do have some other big questions, but we'll just answer maybe a couple smaller ones and leave some other ones for bigger ones for the next time. So I had somebody ask, they give their kids a cod liver oil supplement by Green Pastures. And she asked if I know of it and how it would compare to I was mentioning fish oil, how it compared to the fish oil that I take. So I put, great question. I actually had this exact question a couple of years ago. So kind of figuring out, people say cod liver oil, people say fish oil, what's the difference, which one should I take? So so I dove into it then. So cod liver oil is great to take mainly for its vitamin A and its vitamin D, natural vitamin A and D that it has in it. It's a great source. Fish oil is great for its omega-3 content. So both of them are amazing. It can get super expensive if you're taking both. So I generally, just to keep price down, just to keep it easier, I generally just do omega-3 all year round. But if you're trying to decide between the two, I recommend alternating between the two. So I would take the fish oil in the summer months when I don't need that extra vitamin D, and cod liver oil is amazing in the winter months for that vitamin D. Fish oil is generally cheaper. The one that I've been taking right now is Sealicious. You can get it for $29 at Good Natural in Steinbach. And you can get I always try to get it when it's 20% off on the family day. So that's the first Tuesday of every month. And little bonus too, I don't know if this is a bonus or not, but lately I've been doing demos. So I don't work for Good Natural, but I do demos for different companies. So on those family days, I'm often in there doing a demo. So yeah, come and say hi if you're in on one of those days. Okay, so that's fish oil. And then another question about a multivitamin, and then I think we will call that a day. Okay, next question. Do you have a brand of multivitamin you would recommend or suggest? Also, what about probiotics? Would you suggest taking them? If so, what brand? So multivitamin is great. Probiotics are great. And fish oil, there's some other ones that are great. But to be honest, I'm not taking a multivitamin right now. I'll mention sort of what I'm doing. Just because I often forget about it. It can get really expensive if you're taking all these different supplements. So I'll just read out what I put. For multivitamins, I love Progressive brand. Another great one is Mega Foods brand. I'm personally not taking a multivitamin right now. I do make sure I take a multi when I'm pregnant or nursing, but otherwise I take vitamin D in the winter, just in the winter, and I take fairly high dose vitamin D. Sometimes probiotics, and I also take fish oil. So right now for multivitamin or for vitamins, I'm trying as much as I can to get it through Whole Foods. A lot of us are busy, and a lot of us, even if you do eat a good diet, often we're kind of lacking a little bit. So I do highly recommend a multivitamin. But personally right now I'm just eating as well as I can. And then I've been talking about it a little bit because the company sent me a bottle to try out. It's called Samura, and it's kid and toddler, or it's kid and teen formula. So it's a powder, it's whole foods, and I put it in my smoothie. So this is actually a product that I'm going to do a giveaway because they gave me an extra bottle. So I'm going to do a giveaway just for the members this month. So I've been doing that. So that's a nice little boost as well. So I add that to my smoothies. So even though it's a kids and teen formula, it's got probiotics in it, and it's got vitamins and minerals in it. So that's kind of covering me right now. I also take a fish oil. That's important. So if you're to pick just kind of one thing, in the winter, vitamin D for sure, and that's cheap. Also a fish oil or cod liver oil. And then after that, if you can add on more, then a multivitamin. So I'd kind of do it in that order. So I put, if you're eating a pretty good diet, then I wouldn't worry too much about a multi, especially if funds are tight for us. Then I'd rather spend that money on healthy foods, like meats and fruits and vegetables. Probiotics are good too. I don't have a specific brand that I like right now. I haven't done a ton of research on which ones are best. But if you go to a health food store, they're usually a lot more knowledgeable in specific multivitamins that are great. So a multivitamin is great to take. Even things like apple cider vinegar, take a tablespoon of that with water every day. Like that's got some, or any other fermented foods like kimchi or sauerkraut. You want to make sure it's not pasteurized though. That can help with probiotics as well. But you want for probiotics, you want a probiotic strain that has a lot of variety in it, not just one, not just like lactobacillus or something. You want a few different strains. And it also, if you're doing probiotics and if you've been doing it for a while, it's good to switch it up a little bit to different brands, because you don't want your body to have an overgrowth of certain bacteria. So that's about it for that one. So I think we'll leave it at that for today. And yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to. Again, I'm open to suggestions. This membership can evolve to exactly what we want it to be. So I love hearing from you, what you guys are wanting. So let me know, send me a message, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. It's going to be so nice and warm, and enjoy your summer. Bye.